Hi Flosstube friends, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023, and I'm here today with a Flosstube Extra. A little while ago, I had thrown out the idea of maybe doing a finish parade, and a few of my long-term viewers chimed in and said they'd love to see some of my finishes, so this is for you guys. Thank you so much. So let's get started. I'm going to go through all of the finishes that I have that I can think of, that I have photos of to share with you today, and I'm going to work from my most recent finishes to my past finishes. I will try and include details like fabrics and flosses and the actual date they were finished if I have that information. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on if it was pre-record keeping. But yeah, so let's get started. So on December 10th, 2022, I finished Flowers, Birds, and Butterflies, which is a Bucilla kit that I completed for my mother-in-law. And here's a picture of that finish here. Next up, in November of 2022, I completed the Waxing Moon Seasonal Bird series. These are these little guys. So that's the spring bird, the summer bird, the autumn bird, and the winter bird. These are stitched on a 28 count Monaco that I dyed myself. These ones were just dyed with a tan. These ones were dyed, I believe I used like a two-step process and maybe did a tan and then a bit of brown to get a bit more modeling. And the charts are originally charted in hand-dyed flosses, but I did a DMC conversion to stitch those. I should mention too, the Bucilla kit, obviously that was stitched on a 14 count Aida with all of the called for kit threads. Up next, in August of 2022, I completed the Primitive Cat with Stars by the designer, and I will put her name down here. I believe she's Russian, and I don't want to butcher her name by trying to pronounce it, so you can see it there. This was my smalls exchange for the Hidden Stitchers Fall Retreat, so I will put a picture of that kitty here. These are really fun to stitch. They stitch up really quick. They're a little bit fiddly to finish, but they're so cute when they're done. So I really enjoy making those. Next up, on October 12th, 2022, I completed the Galloping Horses Sampler by the City Stitcher. This was stitched on a 28 count Monaco that I dyed myself with denim blue Rit dye, and it's stitched in B5200. So that was really fun because there's some specialty stitches in there as well as the cross stitches. And this is the first monochromatic piece that I've done where the whole thing is just stitched in one color. On August 14th, 2022, I completed the mini tree hugger cell. Oh, sorry, Ollie wants to sit on my chair where I'm putting my stitching, so I'm just gonna move it over here. So yeah, I completed the mini tree hugger cell by Carolyn Manning Designs. I stitched this on an 18 count Aida with the called for DMC. So this was a stitch along for the year. Every month she gave us a different tree to stitch. So that's what that looks like. Ollie, can you sit down? Thank you. That's a good boy. Next up, in June 14th of 2022, I finished the Joyful World cell, which was done by the Snowflower Diaries. This is there was a monthly pattern for the whole year. I believe. I don't know if this was 2017, 2018, but I will quickly show you each one. So there's January, February, March, April. Oh, I should mention too, February's I changed. I started this series a year that we lost one of our dogs, and she had been born in February, so I decided to change the picture. I think it was a couple of ducks, like a pair of ducks, and I changed it to a dog that looks similar to what she looked like to commemorate her. May. These are so cute. June. July. I also changed August because August had a dog that kind of looked like my dog but didn't really look like my dog, and I just thought since I already had the dog in February I'd change it to August. So this, I got this little sheep and bunny as a pattern from Snowflower Diaries Etsy shop, so I decided to buy that. The Joyful World series was free if you join her Facebook group. The patterns are all there, but I thought I would support her and buy one of her patterns online, and then I just substituted in. I knew the little sheep and bunny would fit in that space, and I put them in there. September, October, November, and December. And yeah, I do have a frame that I put these up. They all have magnets on the back. If you want to see them in the frame, if you check out my last video, I think the thumbnail shows them in the frame. Okay, so in March 30th of 2022, I completed my Chipping Sparrow scissor fob, and unfortunately I've misplaced it and I can't find it, and I'm very sad because it was attached to a pair of scissors that my mom had gave me. So I've gone through all my project bags and everywhere I can think of where I would put it, and I haven't found it yet. So I'm hoping I'll find it. So I don't have that to show you. If you really want to see it, I show the finish in Flosstube number 28 if you're curious and want to check it out. The next one in March as well of 2022, I completed Autumn Cat, which was another smalls exchange for the Stitch North retreat. So I will put a picture of him here. This is by the same designer as the Primitive Cat with Stars. So I've done 2 of those. On March 2nd of 2022, I completed my North Winds stocking by Dimensions, done on the kit Ada, which was an 18 count Ada with all of the kit threads. And this is it here. This turned out really cool. So that, I have 2 more stockings that I'm working on, so once I get them finished, then I will fully finish all 3 of them together. Next up, on January 23rd, I finished Cross Stitch Friends by Fuzzy Fox Designs. I stitched this on an 18 count Ada that I dyed a chocolate brown, and it was a smalls exchange for the Hidden Stitchers retreat that was in March of 2022. So I'll put a picture in here of it, what it looked like. in June 27th of 2021, I completed Lizzie Kate Seasons. And these are ones I completed to use in what I'm calling my Rolodex finish. So these are the seasons. I'll show you each one, but they all have like sort of these little multiple motifs. I did crop the bottom of them so they would fit in this format to fit on my little Rolodex. But so that's winter. That's spring. Always being goofy. That's summer. I had to make the lighthouse shorter, which I was a bit sad about because it was kind of a cool lighthouse, but I think it still turned out okay. And that's autumn. And again, I changed up some of the motifs. I think this was a jack-o'-lantern and I just changed it to a pumpkin. In May 19th of 2021, I completed the Woodland Sleigh by it's a Mill Hill kit. So this is what it looks like. These little bunnies. You can see all the beads on there. A lot of fun. I finished this one with a bit of felt on the back. And then the beaded hair. Now I've done another one of these. It's called Evergreen Sleigh, but I don't, sorry about that. So this is Evergreen Sleigh. So I stitched this one first. I think this was the first Mill Hill kit that I ever did. And again, you can see all the beads on there. I really like the color of the beads down here on the runners. This one I just finished with some scrapbook paper. Up next is from the Cotton and Twine subscription box by the Historical Sampler Company. So this is on a gray Ada from Zweigart. I don't even know. I don't think they even give us the information. I'm not sure. I don't have it written down anyway, so. That was fun. And then that was May 4th of 21. April 23rd of 21, I completed the Chipping Sparrow Biscornest by Crossed Wing Collection. And that is this little guy. So this goes with the fob. So these are the little biscornues that are made to look like nests. And the eggs are always done 1/1. So they're very cool. I've only done the one. Amy from Amy Loves Toads, she's done quite a few of them. And I didn't realize until she had stitched several of them that they're all different sizes. Like I just figured they'd all be exactly the same size, but like I know the hummingbird one is really small, and then I think the cardinal one is bigger than this one. So that's really cool because she has hers displayed together on a shelf, so you can really see the difference in the sizes. So if you want to see more of those, you should check out her videos. Then in April 29th, 2021, I had another series finish. It's called 4 Seasons by Lizzie Kate. I stitched this on 28 Monaco that again I dyed with Rit dye myself, and they're stitched with the Weeks Dye Works. Most of them are called for, but I think some of them I did change up a little bit. So that's winter. Autumn. Summer. and spring. And I have an idea for a finish for these. In March 23rd, 2021, I finished the Celebrate with Charm Lizzie Kate series. I stitched these on a 32 count lamb's wool linen with Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts as called for the most part. So this is the rest of my Rolodex finish. So that's Thanksgiving. Halloween. Christmas. Valentine's. St. Patrick's Day. Easter. And then this would be 4th of July, but I found a Canadian conversion where somebody had changed. I forget what the saying is. I don't know if it's just Liberty, but somebody had changed it to True North. So, and this one I really changed because it was still red, white, and blue, and I just wanted to make it more red and white. So I did my own color conversion on that. And I think, yes, that's all of those. February 20th, 2021, I completed Star Trek Alphabet by Clouds Factory. I stitched this on 14 count white Aida with all of the called for DMC. This is the one that I made for my husband. So each letter of the alphabet is a character from the Star Trek series. And then if you've seen it in my old videos, when I completed these, I was going to sign them, and then I thought it would be fun to throw in an extra character for the person I was making it for and a character for me. So you can see down in the bottom, I put my husband in there as Captain Bev, and then I put myself in as Dr. Chris because I'm a veterinarian, and then the date underneath my name. These are fun. January 20th, 2021, I completed Folk Art Fox by Doreen Jones. This was just on a mystery linen, I'm not sure what it was, with the called for DMC. So it makes me smile every time I look at it. So yeah, it didn't have any finishing instructions. It was just a pattern. It was a freebie that I found online. And then I just thought it would be fun to try and finish it like this. So he's got some crushed walnuts in his feet to give him some weight, and then he just has fiber fill up in the rest of his body and just some fabric on the back. That's Folk Art Fox. December 7th, 2020, so we're in 2020 now. I completed Leaves of Love, Dogwood by Talon Emblem. I stitched this on a 28 count black Jobelin with the called for DMC. And this is the companion piece. I'm stitching Leaves of Love Clematis right now. It's one of my whips. So these are the two pieces I'm going to complete and frame and hang together. So pretty. Such pretty vibrant colors on the black. Really pretty. December 5th, 2020, I completed A Merry Winter by Soda Stitch. I did this on a 32 count pearl gray linen with the called for DMC, and this was a gift for a friend, so I'll put a picture here of what it looked like. So cute. So cute, so fun. In August of 2020, I completed a series of patterns called Positive Hoops by Stitch Rovia. I believe I did them on 28 count monocle with the called for DMC. I stitched them as gifts for my coworkers when I was retiring. So I will put a picture in here of what they look like. There were 4 patterns and I did multiples of each, so everybody could pick one. August 3rd, 2020, I completed Winter Squirrel by the Blue Flower. This was stitched on a 32 count Picture This Plus Legacy linen with the Gentle Art and crescent colors that were called for. Squirrel in a sweater above his little sleigh with his acorn tree. Too cute. In March of 2020, I completed Count Your Blessings by Country Cottage Needleworks. I stitched this on 28 count lamb's wool Jobelin with DMC, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Arts threads. Mostly it's called for, but I changed a couple out. This is one you've probably never seen because I don't think I've ever shown it in a Flosstube. The early part of 2020, when the world was falling apart, I was stitching, but I didn't end up filming any Flosstube videos. So this is one of the finishes that I had in that time when I was away from Flosstube, but it's pretty. I like the colors. February 4th, 2020, I completed Gifts for Santa by Madame Chantilly. This is on a 32 count Picture This Plus Legacy linen with the called for DMC. I really like her patterns. They're whimsical and I like her color palettes. I like the balance of solid color and color change. Really fun to stitch. January 20th, 2020, I stitched Winter Woods, which was a Mill Hill buttons and beads. So this is framed up in a shadow box frame from Michaels. So these fit in here perfectly. And they're really easy if you do want to switch them in and out because they just have the little turn things holding the backing in place. So that is Winter Woods. In June of 2019, when I was at StitchCon, I completed my oldest whip. It was like 20 years old. One of the first things I had stitched, or had started stitching. And it was a kit by Candamar called Kindred Spirits, and I completed it when I was at StitchCon, and it was a gift for my sister. That's who I originally purchased the pattern for. So I'll put a picture in here of what that looked like. Yeah, so that it turned out way better than I thought it was going to be. It was one of those, the artwork was printed on the Aida cloth, and then you could embellish it by stitching as much or as little as you wanted, but it's a bit of a nightmare for somebody that has troubles making decisions. And also I found things didn't line up the way that I thought they would, but I persevered, I completed it, and I actually really liked how it turned out. So, and she likes it too, which is important. In February 2nd of 2019, I completed Moonstruck, which is another Mill Hill buttons and beads. This is a popular one, you see it a lot. This was really fun to stitch, all these colors, all of those beads. can see my setup. I have my iPad on a stool on the table. December 22nd, 2018. So now we're getting way back there. I completed Baby Tiger, which is a pattern I got off of Etsy from a store called Nikki Pattern. And I completed this as a Christmas gift for my daughter. It's cute. In that same December, just earlier in December, December 11th, 2018, I completed Blue Elephant, which I'll put a picture here, which was a gift that Christmas for my other daughter. In October 15th of 2018, I completed the Game of Thrones alphabet. For my younger daughter. There's a big Game of Thrones fan. This is the only alphabet they put the title at the top. So this one's a little bit taller than the others. So then I put her and myself down at the bottom there. Date. I had also stitched the Harry Potter alphabet, but I don't have a date for when I completed that. This was for my older daughter. So everybody's got their fandom. Harry Potter for my oldest daughter, Game of Thrones for my youngest daughter, and Star Trek for my husband. So this was the first one that I did, and this I thought it'd be fun to put my daughter in that world by making her one of the characters down there at the bottom. And then I wanted to sign it, so I thought, oh, I could put me in. But I didn't want to put us in the alphabet where our names fit, because I didn't want to eliminate the characters that were already there. So I just threw us in as extras at the end. And so that's what I did with the other two eventually as well. That's the Harry Potter alphabet. In fall of 2018, I completed the Mandala Hedgehog by Awesome Pattern Studios. This is just on 28 count Monaco, and I did a color conversion for this. I do talk about it in a previous video. And I've just completed it on a hoop with some felt on the back. And then the last two things I have to share with you, which I have again shared in past videos, but it's been a while. One is this little stand up, and I have looked this up. These were made by Dimensions, and they're done on, it's not perforated paper because it's kind of like, I guess it's almost like a plastic canvas, but it's a very fine plastic canvas. So I'm not sure what that would be called. But I had found these in a store, and I ended up making one for this was the one for my mom and dad. I made one for my sister and one for my brother. And my dad was a big time gardener, so I thought he might like this one. And then you just put a little piece of cardboard on the back so that they stand up. But those are cute. I have seen them. You can find some of these occasionally on Etsy for sale. Someday maybe I'll try and find one and stitch it for old time's sake. And then the last one I'm going to share with you is my oldest daughter's stocking. As far as I know, this is one of the first things that I stitched. I may have done, dip my toe in with one or two of those small little kits that, come with a little plastic frame, and they're just like little ornaments or whatever. But this is the first big thing that I remember ever stitching that I think I had to go out and buy my own fabric and stuff for, because it was a pattern out of a magazine. And so I would have made this, I believe, in 1993. That was the year she was born. It may have been 94, but I'm pretty sure it was 1993. So yeah. just did it with felt because that's what they said to do with the instructions, and then there's just red cotton fabric lining the stocking. And that's it. So those are my finishes. I'm sure there's others that I've forgotten about or I don't have any pictures of, but for it, that's it. And that's, I think there was maybe 34. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging in there and checking out all of my finishes. If anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll certainly try and answer those for you. But otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with me and letting me share all of my finishes. It's kind of been fun to revisit some of these things and remember the time when I was stitching them, that sort of thing. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Until next time.